The Sophisticated Savage podcast features unfiltered discussions on a variety of topics, including controversial, explicit, and thought-provoking content. The views and opinions expressed by the host and guests are their own and do not reflect those of the production company or its affiliates. Some discussions may not be suitable for all viewers. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised.
What's going on, fellas?
What up, what up, what up?
Yo, what's good?
Dímelo.
We got some good stuff on the books today.
Some good stuff in my cup today, too.
Ooh. Irvin, the wine is back.
The wine connoisseur.
That looks good. That's good. It's a Cabernet. It's not sweet. It's good.
Can never go wrong with Cabernet.
It's my shit. Dime a ver qué tenemos.
Nah, yo, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about.
Start us off, Cesar. Start us off.
Bueno, this was a recommendation from, I know Roberto put a post out there on the gram, and we got a lot of fire recommendations on certain topics that people would be interested in us talking about. You know, something that's a little different from the sports and culture side of things. And this was one topic that all of us agreed that we could get ahead on this. And today we're talking about relationships, specifically romance. So, los tigres vamos a pechar, ¿no?
Tú sabes que yo soy un lover boy deep down. Yo hablo mi mierda, pero I love love.
Ya tú sabes. ¿Cómo que dice Benito?
Yo me he enamorado 515 veces y contigo son 516. Pero son más nuevos. Toca seguir, pichar y olvidar. I'll stop right there. You know what I mean?
That's fire.
Y si luego hay que enamorarse de nuevo, nos vamos a enamorar. Tú sabes que a mí me gusta estar así, enamorado.
Enchulado.
Enchulado. Yo, all that shit, man.
Yeah,
Yo,
man. Nah, bro.
Con las mujeres, I'm telling you. That's my...
I can say un playlist, a romance playlist after this. Pero, what is your overview on relationships, like in general? Let me know if y'all want me to go first.
I mean, you're gonna unveil it and then just walk away,
right?
I feel like that's a little fucked up. You ask me. Leaves a lot to be desired. You was taking over. I was riding. I was on the bus. I was like, I bet. Dale.
Okay. Bueno. Firstly, you know, relationships, I feel like, is something that I feel like all of us, we all desire. I think as human beings, we all desire connection. We can't help it. That's just the way we've been designed. You know, relationships can get messy. You know, I feel like, you know, that person, the deeper the connection comes and the more you spend time with this person that you decide to, and we're talking about monogamous relationships here. We're not talking polyamory because yo no sé de eso todavía.
We're trying to keep it simple right now.
Yeah. But we're doing, tú sabes, 1700, 1800 romance. Yeah, but pues sí, honestly, like, relationships could get, it's a beautiful thing. It's probably the most important decision you're gonna make in your life, who you want to decide to spend the rest of your life with. And I think it's your relationships are your biggest teachers. You're gonna get it's you're gonna see a side of yourself that you didn't even know was there, and that person's going to unveil all those different parts. But what makes a relationship beautiful is that in spite of all the flaws that people have, they still decide to choose each other and to work things out. And I think it's one of the most religious experiences that you can partake in life. I feel like in relationships, there's a lot of rituals that people do, a lot of routines, stuff like that, which is very important. Um, but relationships are so funny because it's like there's gonna be a time that you're gonna look at that person and you're gonna say to yourself, even though this is not what you ideally think of them, but you're gonna literally say, this person is the reason for my misery right now. Like there's always gonna be a point that's gonna happen, but then you're gonna like you know kiss and make up or whatever, and like it's just like a conscious decision that you're always gonna make, that this is the person I choose to be with, and I'm blessed to be with this person. And yeah, that is a little overview I have of relationships.
I'm gonna tell you this, it's good you mentioned choosing, right? Because a lot of people think that it's supposed to always feel like, nah, you're trying to share your life with another person. I always use the example of a Venn diagram where, you got your side of things, they got theirs, and then you're coming together, y'all share that middle area. And that all that other stuff that y'all not particularly sharing, y'all don't have shared interests or whatever, or your communications, like everything is a choice. And if you're there and you're saying this doesn't feel good today, I'm out, then you're never gonna be in anything that's worth keeping. If you really think that you can be around somebody for 50 years and it's always gonna be just sunshine and rainbows, like that shit is not existent. So choosing is very important. You added like difficulty. That shit, it is difficult. And it's the most beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be the most destructive thing. That's why you gotta choose that person carefully. Every day is a choice, and who you mix up with and everything like that. So I've been away from romantic relationships. I haven't had somebody that's like my person for like 4 years now. I've been saying, well, obviously I've dated and I've spoken to people and everything like that. Just recently I was talking to somebody, and then out the blue, it just went away because I mean it's better to identify early than not. But that choice that you make during the talking stage is the same choice you make 10 years down the line when you're like, yo, this stress is hitting me, and am I gonna keep this going? The decision has to be made already years ago. Like I'm gonna keep this going. Obviously, there's abuse, there's these other realms, and you're not supposed to just stay in it just cause by default. That's not what I'm saying either. But if you understand this is just a situation and you look at it like me and you versus the problem, that's the choice you got to make. Is it this person, or is it just a problem situation, a hurdle you got to get over? So that whole aspect of it that you mentioned, that's big.
Yeah, I also think too, like a lot of people say, oh, relationships are 50-50. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think it always has to be 100-100. And I know people, oh, how can you both give 100%? But I think you both have to give 100% of yourself for it to be something that you both commit to and work towards. Because you are going to have probably more difficult times than you are going to have great times. And that's just the reality of life in general. If things were easy all the time, everyone would do it and everyone would be in it. And that's just not the reality of life. I've been in a relationship for 15 years, married for since 2010 years married this year in September. And if I tell you it's been all great and all, like Irvin says, sunshine and rainbows, I'd be lying my ass off to y'all because it has not been. And there's a lot of, trauma that we both brought in to the relationship, from childhood trauma to just teenage trauma and just in general, just, baggage in general. And it's a matter of how we come together to resolve those issues and help each other through those things to then make the relationship successful. And,
Mm.
in the 15 years we've been together, yeah, there's been a lot of shit. And, has have I ever felt like I need to walk away at any point? No. Has she felt that way? No. Because at the end of the day, and it's what I told her, the conversation we always have is when we're having difficult time, yeah, we could walk away from each other, take a breath, but we ain't going nowhere. Like this
Mhm.
shit, it's you and me, baby.
Mm.
We're gonna have to figure it out. We're gonna have to
It's
work through
you
it.
and
We're
me,
gonna,
baby.
that's it. Like I'm stuck with you, you stuck with me. We chose
That's
each
it.
other. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's
So,
beautiful.
and that's just the reality of it. And that's my thought. That's why I feel like it has to be 100. Like we both got to be all in. Because if one of us is not all in, then you got to be all out.
And
Mm.
people be thinking that 100% means that you just always on point. Now, it just means that today, this is what my 100% looks like. I'm giving you the best I can. And as the person's partner is like, yo, I'll pick up. You give me 100%. You feel tired. You can't take care of this part. I got you.
Right.
And vice versa. And it's just a balancing act because it's y'all against. I'm gonna do life with you, baby. And
Yeah.
that's what I decided. I'm gonna do life with you. And that's the beauty of it.
Y'all become one. Y'all become one, one unit, and this means that you guys are gonna see a whole bunch of different versions of yourselves that y'all didn't even know was there.
There's gonna be some
So
ugly shit.
you're right. But the fact that you're gonna, if you have a person there that you have that safe zone with, that you can express that side of you, like that is the most rewarding feeling ever. Like you just feel so grateful. Like wow, like I'm so blessed I have someone like that. So I'm getting too excited. Let's
That shit is amazing, bro. It's true. It's true.
let's go to the next question now, that because I know that Roberto, he mentioned that he's 15 years. Wow. Like, so what have y'all learned? Like, what lessons have y'all learned from past slash current relationships?
Dale, Hacia. Ah.
Um, I guess what I've learned is that feelings can change, emotions can change, people can change, relationships can change. What you feel for one person one day, the next day it might change. And then it could change again, like you can be all in one day and the other day maybe not so all in. Relationships are challenging. Uh, they're not always gonna be the lovey-dovey feeling because you go through trials and tribulations. There's other like dynamics that go on in a relationship besides just love and emotions. So like, financial security, having to eat, so small decisions like that, having to go shopping, make sure the house is all up to standards, I guess. Um, so some folks might be willing and acceptable to do all those things, and some folks might not. So there might be some slack. Hold on, I'm trying to focus on the question. Hold on. So besides people can change, and things can change, you have to be able to to work through some of those things, like how Roberto mentioned. Be open-minded, I guess, to accepting that things can change, being adaptable in the relationship. If that's your person, right? Like if that's your person, you want to work things through with them and see things through the end. Um, but yeah, I need to think some more on this question, so I'm gonna pass the buck a bit right now to one of you.
I think lessons in relationships. So I don't look at things as failures, right? A lot of things. I feel like if quote unquote if you fail, it's more like you've learned a lesson. And I feel like past relationships have taught me that. And that's kind of what led me to where I'm at today. Because I've been, I've been in relationships, I've been in situationships, I've been in entanglement, I've been in all of it before I landed where I'm at now. And I feel like with each thing, you kind of take pieces of maybe some characteristics of that relationship, not necessarily the person, but the relationship in general. And it's like, okay, I reacted in a certain way to this relationship, this situation. How did I handle that? And then you kind of adapt to it, kind of like what Hasil just said. You kind of adapt to the situation and kind of grow from it. And I think those little lessons, or those, people call them failed relationships, whatever. Um, I think those bits and pieces that you take, eventually they kind of mold you in a sense into who you become when you do find your person, and you do find that person that you can finally kind of just be yourself and just open up wholeheartedly and just say, be vulnerable with, essentially, which I think is a big part in a relationship as well, just being vulnerable and being able, I think once you find that place where you are vulnerable, I think you're on the right track to maybe being with that person. And maybe that relationship, shits the bed too. And it feels like all hope is lost, and fuck, man, I just lost I opened up everything and I lost this person, or this person left me. But again, that could be basically your stepping stone. Maybe you needed to have that again, I hate to say it's failure, but maybe you needed to learn that lesson
Yeah.
to take that next step into the next relationship, which is actually the one.
Yeah.
Perspective is big. So perspective,
Yes.
like if you're in something and your perspective on it is I failed, I'm not good at this, I'm not good enough for that, then you're gonna drag that into your next relationship.
Bingo.
So, like you said, like both of you really alluded to, you adapt, you get those characteristics, you learn, you grow from it. Everything is a learning experience. If you're just judging yourself off your failures, you're not trying to look inwardly and being like, yo, where is it that I went wrong? What is it that I can fix? What is it that brought me to this point? And you don't learn from whatever that situation was. It's just extra baggage you're taking somewhere else. So I think perspective is really big. Accountability is really big.
Yeah.
Whether you're in the relationship, you're about to get into a relationship, you just got out the relationship, I think it's real important to look inwardly. Not enough people look inwardly. And like with this last situation that I had, it forced me to really dig deep and like look at myself, because I gave everything. I mean, you guys know I gave everything I had. And it got to a point where it was like, do I keep subjecting myself to something like this? Do I keep essentially minimizing myself and what it is that I can do or what I have to offer? Am I blocking whatever's coming next? Like things like that. So you look inward and you say, you know what? I did the best I could. As long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, yo, I put my best foot forward. You can keep going and you can take that with you. And the next relationship you with, like you said, Roberto, that just might be the one because of that past experience that you had. And you can't be mad at your past either. Whatever decisions were made then, whatever they made decisions that they believed was going to bring them to where they needed to get to. Now it's up to you to have that perspective to be like, yo, I need to shift. I need to find out what it is I need to do to get to that point. What is it that I want? What am I in charge of? So failures to me, like you both alluded to, you can see it the way you want to see it, but perspective is big. You gotta see it as where's my W at?
Yeah. And everybody's different too. Like in
True.
relationship. Not like you can't expect the same thing out of one person out of the other. So people have different backgrounds, different upbringings, different mindsets, different beliefs. So that's very important when in a relationship. So that's something that I have learned that, you know, everybody's different. So I would go into meeting somebody and trying to understand them and meet them where they are rather than trying to impose what I think they should be. So that's something I've learned about relationships.
And
Everybody's different.
if it don't fit, you can't force it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Hmm.
people end up wanting to force shit.
Yep.
And sometimes you just gotta
And
you
don't force
meet them
shit.
where they are, you see who they are, and then you find out like, is this worth choosing every day? So, and you shouldn't like, at this age, I'm not here trying to reinvent the wheel or nothing like that. You don't have to come ready and then I'm not changing and everything like that. And I'm also arrogant, I'm perfect. But there's got to be there's a baseline that you got to have. And if like I can't date a cigarette smoker, don't matter what else you got. That's one of my baseline joints. I can't do it. And that could be something like, oh, but that's not even that serious for some people. But for me,
It's
I
really,
don't like the smell. It turns me off. It doesn't entice me.
it's really bad for you and for
It's
others.
it's just, but that's a personal thing of mine. Does that mean that person doesn't qualify for someone like me? Nah, it just means keep it pushing. That didn't work. Now, all right, let's see what works for me.
Yeah, and you guys alluded to this, and piggybacking on what Irvin just said. There are some non-negotiables that we all have, because, and we need to have them because we need to draw the line somewhere. Um, as I mentioned before, we're all we're all mad as human beings. We all have something strange about us, and we're all gonna learn strange parts of another person the more intimate you get with this person. So there's a person that they might thrive in a certain aspect that you like, but they might lack something else that another person that you dated before them,
Right.
something like that. So you always have to make a choice or a quote unquote, what are you willing to sacrifice type thing in order to that would that would lead you to want to choose this person on a dating. So
Right.
that's why those non-negotiables is something keen to keep you know to keep yourself grounded. But yeah, lessons that I learned personally, um, it is that just try not to put people try not to put somebody on a pedestal
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to disappoint you at some point if you perceive them to be this perfect being, or like you have to allow people to be humans.
They do the
We're
game.
not perfect ourselves, so that's why you always have to tell yourself, like, what am I willing to live with, what am I willing to like to
Put
like
up
all
with.
right, this person, she doesn't like to shower on Sundays, whatever. Like, all
Una
right, fine.
rastrera.
Like, whatever, fine. I'll at least, but she has a kind heart, so cool. Fuck it.
She don't brush her teeth in the
It ain't
morning.
that kind, my man. That ain't the kind of heart I need.
Now let's keep it real. How many? No, never mind. Never mind. There's
Nah.
a lot
Stop
of
playing with
lazy
your
chicks
chest,
out
dude.
there, but that's okay because we're all human, I guess. People
Nah,
don't be showering every day and shit.
listen, baby girl, if you miss a day of showering, I need a reason. You can't just say, yo, I don't shower on Sundays because
I was listening to a Shakira song, so that's what came on.
And
loco, mira, yo soy un ratrero. A mí me gusta estar, I'm very touchy. I'm very, very affectionate. You see, every Sunday you telling me que tú vas a tener un bajo agrado.
nah, I think that's like
Conmigo
one of
no
my
joda.
preferences because I like to
Don't get me
shower at
wrong.
least twice a day. So
Yo,
like,
sometimes maybe they got away from you,
balls
and
be smelling,
but if
bro.
you tell me that every Sunday that they gets away from you, we need to fix your Sunday, baby.
Or
So, in the SSP podcast, cleanliness is very important.
Yo,
yes, for sure.
what?
Cleanliness is next to
Absolutely.
godliness.
I-
One last thing that I learned also, now that I had a moment to think about it, that sex isn't everything in a relationship either.
Mm.
Like it's a big factor, and it could be like one of your preferences. Like I have to have sex every day, or if not, I don't want to be in a relationship. Like yeah, you could do that, but if you're gonna be real, that's not really gonna happen after like 5 years. But that's one thing to also learn that like for people that are new in a relationship, that sex is not the end all be all. You're gonna have some good nights, you're gonna have bad nights. No one bats 1,000. You're gonna be batting probably a cool 300 average. So figure out ways to please your girl, whether before or after. So just wanted to put that out there, that yes, sex is intimacy is important, but don't fiend, don't make that the focal point of your relationship.
And honestly, there are other forms of intimacy.
100%, son. Do you know?
Massages,
Oh my
cooking,
God. Cooking, son. You
showering
know
them
that?
and
Yes.
giving them the shower, like you washing them and shit like that.
A massage, like just
Just a touch, bro. It
yeah.
quiets the world. Like even just let's go. Let's sit down and let's hold hands. Like that's a lot of intimacy. A lot of that is what I crave. So like to Hasiel's point, the whole sex is not the end all be all. It's mad important. I feel I need to be connected to you. I need to get up in there to for lack of better words. But I need to feel that kind of connection to you. And baby girl, we gonna get it when the getting is right. We gotta keep it exciting and everything like that. But sometimes you just wanna come home and then or just lay in bed with this person and enjoy their company, enjoy their warmth. You're watching TV, yo, I'll pass out. If I can have all the energy in the world and I just feel this right here and it just the
Game
stress melts
over.
away, like, and you got to be able to tell that in your partner. Like if you know your partner is going through something, that intimacy goes a long way. Let's go take a walk at the park. That's intimate. I don't just come out here walking around with people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a regular thing. It's you reserve certain things for certain people. And I'm not saying like, walking the park super intimate, but I'm saying like these moments that you hold dear.
Yeah.
These little dates, these little like let's go listen to music and you're connecting through music. Like you have to build those moments. So that's I'm glad you remembered that, Hasiel.
Yeah,
You
just
made me a
being
little nervous. We made a little nervous with that question. My man went blank.
Yeah, I got hot for a minute.
being conscientious. Well, I don't know how to say that word, so let me not even try.
Conscientious.
Conscientious.
Mhm.
Yeah, just being consciente of what your partner, what your partner needs. Like that's something that I think is very that I've learned in my experience that has helped me. But what are some highlights from your past experiences with relationships that made the relationship more fulfilling? What are some highlights?
Being able to like chill with the parents, like smoke, drink, just like bond with the family without like any judgment. Like those moments make you feel wholesome.
Mm.
Yeah.
Makes you feel part of something bigger. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just this one person. I have this whole village, and it makes you feel that family dynamic. I could see that. I like listen. I could cook. I'll throw down. I got 5 dishes in my holster that I make anybody fall in love with me. Be like, yo, I want to marry this guy. So to me, I can't get in a relationship with someone like cooking food. That to me is amazing. Like my sister's cooking right now, and that's my sister. Well, she finished cooking. Smells amazing in here. I'm 2 seconds away from just eating without her because she's doing whatever she's doing over there. But cooking is really important. So she makes sure she cooks every day. She has her man here and everything like that. And they I know that he enjoys that part of it. He knows that he's gonna get up from whatever he's doing and he has his plate of food, good food she could cook. So I think that's super important to me. I don't care what nobody says. I need food every day. So to be able to, hey baby, I made you your favorite. That's like music to my ears right there.
Yeah.
That
That's
that
love.
melts my heart.
Mm.
And that's not like the biggest thing, but to me it's pretty important. We gotta eat takeout every time because or I gotta be the one that cooks all the time. That's kind of
Mm.
Wow.
Unacceptable. It's
it is. It
unacceptable.
is. I think it really is. It really
It
is. Like,
really is. That's how I feel.
and I blame my mother perhaps for something like that, but
Oh man.
to me it is. All right, she needs to have the willingness to learn how to cook. You feel me? Like if she can't cook, but she's like, no, I learned this recipe and it's like, oh, it's not the best, but she puts that effort. She's watching these YouTube videos. She's like, baby, I made this. I love that shit.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
E for effort.
How about you, Roberto? Any highlights?
Honestly, it's little shit. I love the little shit. Like Irvin said, like cooking may not seem like a big deal, but that's part of his love language.
Yeah.
So for me, like when my wife goes out to even Target and she brings me back some fucking peach rings, that makes my day, bro. Like that's
What?
Featuring this shit.
peach rings.
Okay.
That's a simple shit. She buys me a box of honey buns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it, man. You made my day.
Mhm.
Yo, you
Like,
should get honey buns imported from New York for no
bro,
reason.
yeah. So when she goes out and that little thought of me is like, maybe we haven't talked all day because I'm busy at work, but I come home and she got peach rings
He
or
thought of
honey
you.
buns. I'm like, yo, that's my boo. She thought
Thought,
of me.
thought. So thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
Like
On little
a
shit. And
long
it
way.
doesn't have to be grand gestures either.
It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I
little
noticed.
details.
Yeah, I noticed like, understanding your partner and understanding each other goes a long way. But I feel like the thing that really makes like relationships sometimes last longer is the certain habits that you guys decide to do together. Like certain routines or certain rituals that y'all decide to do. Like, I don't know, like, because in this world, we're moving around a lot. Like, we're doing a lot of other stuff. Like, yes, you have your partner, but you have another whole life separate from them. But when y'all have y'all intimate time together, like, there's certain things that y'all could do to kind of keep it, to make sure that y'all don't lose that connection. So like make it
Yeah.
an emphasis. Like for example, I don't know, like every Friday night we're going, it's movie night type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Something, some sort of intimacy. Or every night, we gotta kiss for at least 4 minutes. You gotta give me a 20-second hug or something, like
I need to
at least
implement
once a
that
day.
one.
Like stuff like that, little things like that can go a long way. Like
It's about being intentional.
Yeah.
The
right.
intentionality behind those little things.
Mm-hmm.
That hug, every time you see each other, being able to give yourselves that hug to hold each other and
Yeah.
be like, because it goes back to feeling safe in that person's presence, to be able to open up to this person how you can't open up to anybody else. Because this person is like, that's your person. So that 20-second hug thing, I love that, Joe. I make sure I don't hug no random people more than 7 seconds. So I don't release this oxytocin. Feel me? I gotta reserve that. I need a 20-second hug. That would go a long way, B.
What
I
about
think
cuddling?
cuddling is great too. I
That
mean,
shit is elite.
there's gonna be times that y'all are gonna be mad at each other, so that's why I feel like there has to be some sort of, you know,
Like, come,
like
let's
some sort of
cuddle.
habits that you guys form together. That like, yo, no matter what we're going through,
Yeah.
let's make
Even though
sure
we're
we do
mad at
this
each
shit.
other, let's
'Cause
cuddle.
No matter what we
this
going
shit could
through,
linger.
that leg needs to touch my leg at night.
Yeah.
If it's not touching my leg at night, we're not going to sleep, B. So we could not be hugging, but if your leg is not on my leg, because I take my socks off. I'm usually known as Daddy Loves Socks. Get my socks on, feel me? But your leg got to be touching my leg at night. If it's not, there's a problem. Not the whole night. It's just I got to fall asleep to that.
Yeah.
You're right about that. That's, va a seguir.
Yeah, and I think letting people know. I guess we could, we're gonna discuss that later, but they definitely like give people fair warnings about the strange side of you guys, like that. Yeah, I feel like that whole vulnerability thing um goes a long way. Like if you could tell somebody like, look, when I don't get this, I sometimes react this way. Like give them like that little fair warning. Like that would like I guess
You don't give me
it would
ass.
lighten the blow a little bit. Like it goes a long way. It really
Pero la
does.
cosa viene siendo too, like, when is the right time? Because some people be like, they be weirded out by getting too much information too soon or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And you got to be established
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
be like, unless it's something like big. If it's big, you gotta.
Yeah.
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 That's
No, yeah.
something I've
I'm
learned
talking
too.
about
Yeah.
established, like when a foundation has been built already.
Yeah. All right. So how long do you feel before you tell somebody like a quirky thing about you that's
Did you
really an
smash already or
individualized thing
not?
of
I think
yours?
that matters too.
The connection gotta I
Yo, you
guess
could be connecting with somebody thoroughly a month and a half in, and then you say some shit, and they're like, especially nowadays, I be tormented by the way people be talking about dating nowadays. I got that
Yeah,
itch.
it's bad,
Yo.
Bro,
bro.
I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you?
it's a scary that's why it's scary to get
Like,
vulnerable.
what is
There's
But
so
wrong?
many single people out now right now.
It's
but you
fucking the
know
illusion of
what? Then that means that they're not the right. They're not the right one.
it's
I
that
think it's
illusion of
because
options with social media. Like, come on, mami.
Mm.
Yo estoy bueno también. Y tú me ves a mí tranquilo. Yo no me doy la gran cosa. I don't be acting like I'm the shit. Pero, yo, some people be,
maybe
look,
on
look,
one.
look at
Sí,
this
sí.
post I had, how many likes I got.
No, yeah. Hay gente perdida. No todo el mundo, pero hay gente perdida. Hay gente medio
That's why
perdida.
you said 1700s, 1800s. I feel you. Pre-internet. Because fuck, bro. And don't get me wrong, like I haven't run into too many people that, well, I don't feel like I ran into anybody. It's like, oh my God, you're giving me the ick or whatever. But I hear these torment stories. I also keep to myself a lot. I don't really like, yo no estoy hablando with this person, that person, that person. I'm very private. I'm very to myself and like, all right, whatever comes by my way, I'm welcoming with whatever comes by my way. But I don't seek out in multiple avenues everything. I don't think it's fair to me or that person. So like it's interesting how people like they'll entertain 5 people at a time, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
why do you think that makes sense in your head to be able to?
because
Because you're gonna be like, oh, but I like this person for this, and this, but then this other person does this, and now you're confused.
but it's the dating scene basically because you're
It,
technically dating to see what you like out of these people. That's why there's
do
multiple
that,
people
but at some point you gotta
until you
like
lock
be a
in,
little realistic
move
and
in
like
with each other.
people think that all right, I know this person for only a week or two, I can't lock in. Roberto, when did you know that you wanted to be with your wife before you got in a relationship with her?
Yeah.
Point in case, people. Sometimes, yo, you just know, you do have to make that choice to be like, yo, let me reserve myself for this person. So it's like what are we doing? Why are you really out here thinking that just because look, and I'm a single man, and I could not to toot my own horn, but I could go ahead and do this. But does that really call my attention? Is that really something I want to do? Confuse myself? Like, oh, her favorite cereal is Fruity Pebbles and Marshmallow. No, it's not. It's Raisin Bran. And that's something so small, but it's like, I like knowing your favorite cereal. And I'm confusing and I'm fucking with my own shit.
Right. No, well said.
Honestly, to piggyback off of that, I
I
mean,
was
just
yeah.
personally, like before I decided like to pursue my wife, I cut everything off.
Right.
I locked in. I was like, listen, if I'm gonna go all in with this woman, I'm gonna go all in with this woman. So I stopped doing what I was doing. I basically took myself off the streets,
Mm.
essentially.
Really on
I
that.
was like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go all in. And if she said no and she rejected me, then all right, then I'll go back to the streets. But
Right. But you gotta
Exactly.
lock in
It's no,
though.
Rejection
it's
makes you
there. It's
stronger.
the streets is never gone.
yeah,
You have to make a choice.
exactly.
You
And that's
have to.
and I made the right choice. Obviously, I'm still here. She's still
Yeah.
here. So,
Talk
you know,
that
but
talk.
but yeah, Irvin is right. It's that whole jumping around and it goes back like you're not giving 100% of yourself to nobody and you're not receiving 100% of yourself because you're not allowing it to happen. So you're blocking a
Mm.
blessing for yourself and for others.
Mm.
And for
Rewind.
others. People aren't considerate of that shit.
The what?
You're blocking blessings for yourself and for
And for
others. That's the
others.
other aspect to it.
Right,
You
because
fucking with somebody else's time, their
you're
life,
still, yeah, you're holding on to,
You're holding them hostage, basically.
yo,
you know,
chasing people that are in relationships already. Like, there's so many people out there, son. So many people out there. Doesn't make any sense, bro. Lock, and you don't have to lock in with everybody you talk to. That's not what I'm saying either. Sometimes, but you
definitely.
gotta get you get a certain idea.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to talk to this person, you're like, oh my God, you get that magnetic pull, and you're like, yo, I need to explore this. That's exactly what you got. You're like, yo, I need to explore this. This needs to be. I need to dive into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but sometimes that could be the wrong choice too,
I mean, it could
and
be,
it could
but
blow up
like
in your face.
Roberto said, you go right back to the streets. That shit right there. It's right around the corner, B.
Yeah, but
If
depending
I
where you
go
at
out
in
this
your
door right
life,
here,
there could be
I'm in the streets,
repercussions
B.
with that too.
What happened?
I said depending where you're at in your life, that there could be repercussions with that. It's not
Yeah,
as
I'm in the Bronx, so there are repercussions to being in the streets out here, but I'm still gonna get to where I'm going, B.
yeah. But I agree.
Yeah.
Since I've been wanting to talk for mad long, he like this.
Trying to get a word in, right? Trying to get a word in.
No, I was just gonna, because we mentioned a few. We kind of like semi answered a few of the questions here, or like I had like perfect transitions for the next questions, but
Go for it.
We
Go for
fucking
it.
transition up. We hit you with the euro.
yeah, Eurostep me.
Yo, son. Roberto, you were that's like after I finished talking, you were like to piggyback off whatever he was like, I was going to say something. Don't sweat and be. I need more wine.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of mentioned some of these, but what are certain patterns that did not go so well and added turmoil to the relationships y'all were in? Like, what are
Yo,
certain patterns maybe that y'all did or that y'all received?
listen, forgetting to date, like those little things. Once you forget that part of it and you just neglect that this is a whole other person that you're dealing with,
Yeah.
it's fucked. So like if you my shit is not that much of a mystery, but you know, I dated this woman with children, right? And then I forgot that I was dating. What brought us to that point, what brought us to that connection was us. And
Right.
I was so taken up by I need to be able to be a father, which is true, yes, but I forgot completely what brought me there. The little
Mm.
things, yo, I'm romantic as fuck, yo. I would write post-it notes saying good morning while I'm going out to work, or I would leave little notes here. I'd buy random flowers. I was doing things that it just came from me. It's not, she never asked me for anything, but those little things I stopped doing. I was still doing other things. I was still taking care of the kids. I was still coming home and giving that hug for a bit, but then where'd I go after that? Like it wasn't, even though you're there, you got to be present.
Mm.
So that communication, that understanding, those little things, presence is not, yo, I'm here. You're not there. Like you're not with that person. So I feel like those are pivotal things. Right then, it's funny that Say's always like, oh, we kind of like touched on this. We touched on the opposite spectrum of it, and it's like if these things that we mentioned are so important aren't there, that's the key missing, like those ingredients. Like you wouldn't be 15 years in right now if you just completely neglected the person that you were with. It would make no sense.
Yeah. Mm.
Se
Bueno.
callaron todito.
No, I was
I was waiting
I
for
was waiting
Cesar.
to see.
I was
Oh yeah,
waiting for
waiting for me.
I didn't want to interrupt him this time.
Come on, let's get back. Let's get
No,
back.
yeah. No, I agree with Irvin. Those were great point. That was a great point.
So
Uh,
okay, go ahead.
yeah. Oh, I get another from my experience. Certain patterns that didn't go so well were like letting shit linger for a little bit too long. Like letting like a lot of little things linger for a while. Because sometimes you might keep shit to yourself for whatever reason it is. Maybe you had told something to someone to your partner before and it wasn't well received. So now you kind of like you start like kind of get on your protective mode. You go back to your 4-year-old self again. Like, all right, let me not do this because I'm gonna get slapped in the face. So like little things like that, when you like kind of cut off, when you start blocking off, and then like letting it linger for too long, I feel like can be very detrimental to a relationship. So communication, basically, communication is something that I think is one of the key factors in keeping something to to grow. What were you gonna say, Irvin? You look like you were gonna say something.
No. I was, because the thing is, I thought there was a pause. I don't know if it's my connection. I was just gonna say that communicate, like, it's good to verbalize what you gotta say, but if you're not communicating it in a way that the person can understand it, you're pretty much talking to a wall. Like,
Yes.
everybody understands things differently. So if I'm like, if I say this, and you're like, and you're not getting it, and I
Mm.
repeat it the same exact way, then I'm not getting it. Like, it goes, it's something that goes hand, like, you have to be able to understand and be understanding. And like, so if we're just going back and forth on the same thing, and I'm just trying to, I gotta prove my point and you gotta prove your point, and I'm not saying what I gotta say in a way that you understand and vice versa, we're gonna stay in that cycle. So whether you address at that point or not, it's not gonna make sense. You can't let things linger, but sometimes you do have to walk away for a second. Hey, listen, I'm not in the right state of mind right now, and I do not want to be, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I love you, but I just need to take some time to myself. In the past, what I do is like, I can't talk right now, and I dismiss myself. But what would that do to her? That make her feel like, yo, he's just walking away from me. I didn't understand that. I thought I was communicating clearly that I can't be here right now. So
Right.
she would get upset because she's like, yo, why are you doing that? And that goes back to the past childhood traumas. Whatever it is that she went through that was affecting her in that way, that she didn't like the fact that I was walking away from her, because what if she didn't know I was going to come back? But letting her know in a way that she understands, and it's with softness.
Yeah.
When you yell at somebody, yo, they could close themselves down. But when you speak softly, yo, I could be yelling at the top of my lungs to whoever. If my lady just touches me and goes, hey, it's like the scene with the Hulk and Black Widow, when he's walling out and she just touches him and he's like, and he comes back too. So it's like with softness, baby, look, I love you. I know we're gonna fix it, we're gonna get through this, but I just need some time right now. You come back now, you can think about it. Now instead of y'all trying to prove each other's point, y'all just trying to resolve the problem. Because y'all speaking to each other in a way that you understand. So
Right.
I appreciate you bringing up communication, OD. Communication is really big. You can't be stuck in your head either. You got to be able to, let me put this
Yeah.
person at ease, and let me.
Yeah, you have to definitely learn each other's styles. Everyone has a different
Mm.
style of communicating. You got to be comfortable enough with that style to see like, all right, this is his thing. Whenever he doesn't feel this way, he needs to go walk in the park and then come back.
It's vice versa, yeah.
Whenever she doesn't want to talk, she needs to watch a novela, whatever, lo que sea, whatever it
Whatever tu
is. But like,
café.
that's how you learn. You live and you learn from experiences. But the first thing you got to do, you have to allow them to be flawed and human. You have to perceive them not in this monster. They're not a monsters. They probably don't mean half the shit that they make you feel. It's just, shit just happened, They did some shit, it hurt you, but it might not be as dark and gloomy as you may
Mm.
think, you know. Sometimes we kind of like we create. We're very creative as humans. We're very very creative.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
understanding where that came from too. Like, what made you make that decision? Like, let's understand that. Like,
Right. What's the story?
what? Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important the how to of communication, how you communicate it. Because like for example, for us, like I know that and I learned this. I had to learn it early on in the relationship. When she's not happy, she doesn't want to talk right away. And for me, I did. I wanted to resolve it right away because I'm a fixer. That was just my thing. I needed to fix it right now. that didn't work for her. So we had to find that happy balance, that compromise where it's like, okay, I know that she needs a moment to kind of maybe digest the information, process it. And then once she goes through that and I've been able to process the information on my end, now we're okay. Now we can communicate to each other clearly in the way that we're both going to understand it. But if we're just, like Irvin said, if I'm just knocking on the door, like, yo, hear me out. I'm trying to fix this problem. How you going to, whatever. We ain't getting nowhere
You're
at
getting
all.
slapped like Cesar said.
Yes, smacked in the face. But it's important not just to communicate, but how you communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some patterns, I guess, that have added turmoil to the relationship, or relationships. When you stop spending time with each other, start noticing like who they start spending that time that they would spend it with instead of you. So they start going out with their girls more, then you start going out with your boys more. Then that becomes like a pattern. Like, okay, you're gonna be going out with them, I'll be going out with these guys, and you're not really spending time with each other. And then you notice like months later that eventually might have started some turmoil within your relationship and you haven't even noticed. So that's something to be mindful of also, I guess. Just,
Who's getting all of our residuals?
hmm
Oh,
basically. I was listening to that song today, actually, like on
Don't know
repeat.
where my life became so complicated.
So yeah, that's just something to be mindful of.
I'm tripping.
it's the bad R&B of the year.
Yo, by the way, Usher apparently sang Nice and Slow a cappella, and it's not cruising down the street, it's who's in the street.
You sure?
He sang it.
Maybe he changed it just for that
But
shit.
It's
maybe he
7
switched it
o'clock
up.
on the dot. I'm in my drop top. Who's in the streets?
Oh
Who,
wow.
Oh
who,
no.
who's in the streets?
Who's in the streets?
Like who is?
Who is in the streets instead of cruising the streets? The fact that
Mm-hmm.
Roberto got that face, he's gonna fact check me. But I saw a video he was doing it. Unless my sleepy mind was that vivid, it threw me
Well,
off.
maybe he
I should
switched
have
up.
sent it. I should have sent it on the chat. I know
Maybe
I got
he's
distracted here.
maybe he switched the lyrics up live. A lot of artists do that.
The
I know.
lyrics I'm looking at now says cruise in the streets.
We all say cruise in the streets because that's what makes sense. I got
I
a
mean,
little
maybe he did change it.
because who's in the streets and I got a thing waiting for me. Don't make no sense to me.
Wow. Well, I'm definitely gonna search that up after the pod.
Yeah.
But how do y'all know y'all
Don't flag me.
full disclaimer? How do y'all know y'all choosing the right person to be with?
Good question. Good question, y'all.
I
Can we really answer that?
I mean, I saw this news feed which I thought was pretty good. I would like to share that with y'all. But there's basically these 5 questions that y'all can ask yourselves to see if
You're the right one.
yes, if you're with the right partner. And
Yeah, I needed these questions a few years ago, my
Or
G.
let me know. What are they?
I got you. Let me know what y'all think. I like them, so let's see what y'all think.
Roberto, did you write these?
No, I don't even know what these questions are.
I think you might have read them. You figured it out.
Some people don't need an outline. They just do it.
They just do it.
It just gets shit done. But now shout out to Modern Wisdom, Chris Williamson. If someone told you you're a lot like your partner, would this be a compliment for you?
Okay. In what ways?
hermano.
Are you truly fulfilled or just less lonely?
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to unapologetically be yourself, or do you feel the need to show up differently to please your partner.
That's mad important.
Yeah.
OD.
I
Gotta
gotta
hide who
always.
you really are and shit.
Oh shit, that's true.
Listen, that's
Get
a
shit.
great one because my wife accepts me when I'm drunk as shit. She'll be the first one to pull up that phone, record me. She'll call Irvin and be like,
Yo,
"Look what your boys."
That's funny as hell.
that's a different beast right there. When you on that Jack and Coke, that's a different animal right there. And she handles it like a champ.
Yeah, it's straight support.
Yo, the whole time with a straight.
That's so true.
So,
Oh,
but by the
man.
way, if all the answers are yes, then yeah, you should probably keep that person. Are you in love with who your partner is right now as a whole, or are you only in love with their good side, their potential, or the idea of them?
Damn.
Is that a no, Roberto? Because you already know her will say us. If it's not a yes, you gotta get a divorce.
I love the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, all of the above.
Mm. And would you want your future or imagined child to date someone like your partner?
That's a fucking big
That's a
one right there.
great
A
one.
lot of people don't think about that, son.
Damn.
A lot of people don't think about that. That's a big one. That's a big one, son.
Yeah.
Wow, these questions are elite. Who was it? What?
Oh,
What you
shout
got?
out to Modern Wisdom.
Modern Wisdom.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite podcasts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was elite. That was elite. That
Word.
last one is a real serious one. A lot of people think like it's not important. Yo, that's mad important, son. It's mad
Yeah.
important.
It's
Shit is
so
resonating.
yeah, all those questions resonated with me, and yeah, if it's a yes on, you're one lucky man. If it's a yes in all of those, but besides those things, what else do y'all feel? How else do y'all know if
That's
y'all
a
with
hard
the
bit
right
to add
one?
to.
I know.
I think it covered a lot of.
Okay.
Oh, I got one. I got one. Can they cook? If the answer is no, you already know. Those first six could be yes. I'm out. I'm taking that door to the street.
Not non-negotiables. Very non-negotiables could be very specific.
Yo,
Yeah.
I'm tough on that one too. I'll disown my own sister for now that we stop.
Honestly, though, we're joking about it, but going back to it, that's about knowing your worth too. Like having those non-negotiables.
It is.
Yeah.
And you can't be a dick about it. You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, they mean people because they don't meet your non-negotiables. You just gotta be like, oh, no funciona.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that cuts out that waiting time that I think Hasiel mentioned. Like, yo, but you might spend some time doing it. That cuts out a good amount of people. You're not wasting anybody's time.
Yeah.
This. If you fall below that line, then you're not for me. You for somebody else.
Especially if they're not willing to work on it. Because if somebody doesn't know how to cook, for example, but they maybe the second date, third date, they're like, yo, I booked this cooking class for us.
Oof.
That shit is a game changer.
Oof.
It's like, yo, I don't know how to cook, but I'm booking this cooking class for us.
I
This is
want to
step
learn
one
how
to
to
learning how
cook
to, you know what I
for
mean?
you. Yeah.
Then it's like, oh shit, this person's willing to like learn this one thing that I mentioned that they don't know how to do, and they,
Yo, and the shit is, full disclosure, I don't know how to cook. I know how to put stuff together. Like there's chefs and everything like that. They know how to cook. They really know the art of cooking. But like I said earlier, there are 5 dishes. You will marry me if I make any one of those. You will want me. You'll be like, yo, this is the man. This is the man right here. And that proves my point that you got to be able to cook. Because, yo le digo a una mujer, come through, I'm going to make dinner for you. And I got the R&B playing. It's the soft lights. Like those movie scenes with the big ass houses. And they just cooking. He has the spread is already out. And it's just, yeah,
with
you
the
just having
towel on your
conversation.
shoulder.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Give her some Little Saints. My man Cesar put me on to that. Aphrodisiac non-alcoholic drink. That joint, Get your mind right, B. I
A
was
lot
like,
of-
yo, Cesar, what you trying to do, B? It ain't that kind of party. Cesar would have cooked for me, would have been a wrap.